Turn. Open order.
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
Right. Rest.
Open order to the before. One step back, I think. Back row, one step back.
Rear rank, one step back. You're up. Eyes front.
Step on it.
Marlin guard, grossly, present arms. Shoulder, arms. Your Honor, Marlin Guard, CC members on parade, use respect.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Morning. How are you guys? What's your name? Where are you from? Awesome. Pretty cool. Okay. Morning. Morning. How are you? That's west. West of here. good, guys. Thank you.
Members, please take your places. Please rise. His Honor, the Lieutenant Governor.
Oh, you might be right, yeah.
It is the wish of His Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, that everyone present be seated.
Good morning, everybody. Bonjour à tous. Gwe. Happy Valentine's Day. Our province faces a world filled with uncertainty. It is not the first time that our province has faced challenging times. In each instance, our province persevered because Nova Scotians refused to give up. And whenever necessary, we supported our Canadian brothers and sisters. We rallied behind our flag, the maple leaf flag, and stood in solidarity with one another. This year marks the 60th anniversary of our flag. The use of the maple leaf predates the flag. It was worn throughout the 19th century by many in our military to help distinguish themselves from British and American troops. Nous nous sommes rassemblés derrière notre drapeau, l'unifié pour nous tenir dans la solidarité. Cette année, notre drapeau célèbre son 60e anniversaire. L'utilisation de la feuille d'érable précède le drapeau. Tout au long du 19e siècle, de nombreux soldats canadiens ont porté la feuille d'érable pour se distinguer des troupes britanniques et américaines. And though it differentiates us from others, it is also a symbol of our unity. It ties our people together, no matter where in the world our paths cross. It reminds us of our country's natural beauty and the sacredness of our land. The maple tree thrives in many different conditions, including our harsh winters. This serves as a reminder of how resilient and resourceful a people we are. The maple leaf reminds us that nature provides sustenance and that we can responsibly use the land to generate prosperity. And as we watch the leaves turn, fall, and then return, we are continually reminded that change is unavoidable and that it brings new opportunities. Our flag is a reminder of our heritage and our history while also asking us to embrace change, to respect one another, and to respect our land while creating value from it. I'm proud to be Canadian. I am proud to be Nova Scotian. Je suis fier d'être Canadien. Je suis fier d'être néo-écossais. And I am excited to address this House and our province at such a pivotal point in our history. This throne speech is the first delivered in Nova Scotia during the reign of King Charles III. On the eve of our flag's anniversary, it became our flag on February 15, we must remember the words uttered by Lester Pearson during its first raising, and I quote, "May the land over which this new flag flies remain united in freedom and justice, a land of decent, God-fearing people, fair and generous in all its dealings, sensitive, tolerant, and compassionate towards all, industrious, energetic, resolute, wise and just in the giving of security and opportunity equally to all its cultures, and strong in its adherence to those moral principles which are the only sure guide to greatness." I know we can chart a future for our province that lives up to these principles and ideals, though it may not be easy. Storms will continually crash on our shores, but we will carry on with the same resolve as always. Through wildfires and floods, we endured. Through recessions and wars, we endured. Through pandemics, tragedies, and heartbreak, we endured. President Trump's tariff threats are the latest storm to come crashing on our shores. We will continue to endure. It is what we owe those who built our province and our country. We must take a moment to remember those we've lost. We must build a stronger province to honor them. Dr. Ron Stewart, Brian McLeod, Gordon Balser, and also because it is what we owe one another. But it is not all that we owe each other. We owe each other much more than that. We must build a province that is stronger and more resilient, a province where we spend more of our money here and support more local businesses, a province that opens our borders to trade with our Canadian neighbors, a province that creates more prosperity by embracing our industriousness with a resolute will to secure opportunity for all. And mostly, we must be united in these trying times. Only when we stand with and up for one another can we push back forces that try to hold us back. That is what we owe each other. As a government, we owe Nova Scotians focus and action on the things that matter most. The government knows that you want action to improve health care, action to build more housing, action to address affordability, action to combat future threats to our province. This government's second term will address these issues with the same energy and level of activity as its first. And just look at what we have accomplished. A new medical school at Cape Breton University and the first and the first medical graduate assessment clinic in the world, which will train, certify, and bring more doctors every year. Imagine if governments took these steps in 2009, 2013, or even just 5 years ago. Our healthcare system would look dramatically different. When we compare 2021 to 2023, we see an increase of 265 doctors. 75 of which are family doctors, and 1,750 more nurses. In addition to all of the new professionals, the government invested in new buildings and equipment to have a modern healthcare system where healthcare professionals want to work. In its first term, this government opened more primary care clinics, new collaborative care clinics, and made improvements at existing clinics. New mental health clinics in Halifax, in Sydney, and Kentville. New recovery support centers in Dartmouth. Applause? New Glasgow and Lunenburg. There is better access to virtual care. There's a new cardiac catheterization lab, new MRI machines, a new SPECT CT scanner in Yarmouth, and a new PET CT scanner in Kilbretton. In addition to all of this, there are 2,200 more long-term care beds. This is the result of focus and action, because focus and action deliver results for Nova Scotians. These investments and initiatives are how the government reduced the need of family practice registry by nearly 60,000 people from its height. During its first term, the government delivered for families and communities by replacing older schools and building new schools. The government offered new teaching jobs to every Bachelor of Education graduate in Nova Scotia and improved the classroom for teachers and students by restricting cell phones in class. And the government cut daycare fees in half. By the end of March, daycare fees will be $10 per day on average. Families also deserve a place to call a home, one that is affordable, the foundation for a family to grow together. In its first term, the government launched the province's first housing plan. It will create over 40,000 new homes. It made record investments in affordable and public housing. As you can see, accomplishing big things is within our reach. We accomplish big things by holding tight to our passion for a better tomorrow, while tempering our demands and with patience as long as progress continues. This government will continue to accomplish big things because that is what it owes the people of Nova Scotia. In its second term, we will see more doctors come through the assessment clinic. We will see more doctors graduate from our universities and stay here to work. We will see more nurses and healthcare professionals choose to live here and to build a life here. This means the wait list for a doctor will continue to shrink, and it will continue to get easier to access care here, because that is what the government owes you. The government will fund a universal shingles program. This means Nova Scotians 65 years of age and older will get access to the vaccine free of charge. It will continue to support women's health by creating Canada's first menopause centre of excellence. And it will remove parking fees at all Nova Scotia health facilities. Including the IWK. Nova Scotians should not have to worry about paying for parking when they are sick, when they are healing, or when they are grieving. Better care, faster. That's what you are owed. Just last week, the government announced more publicly funded mental health care support as it works towards as it works toward providing universal mental health services to the people of Nova Scotia. Improving access to mental health and addictions treatment will help combat homelessness, reduce the use of illegal drugs, combat the overuse of legal drugs, and reduce crime. When our streets and communities become safer, we create stronger communities where families can flourish. These efforts and investments are not free, and they do not come cheaply. When the 2021 budget was tabled, health spending was just over $4.8 billion. Last year's budget saw that total grow to over $5.5 billion. This trend will continue. Without economic growth and the new revenue it brings, the government will be unable to offer the support and services Nova Scotians need and deserve. And a stagnant economy leads to worse health outcomes for Nova Scotians. Nova Scotia has a high proportion of people over 65 and too many people living in low-income houses. Economic insecurity is tied to poorer health outcomes and a shorter life. Those living in lower-income neighborhoods live 10 fewer years than those living in higher-income neighborhoods. Chronic disease rates are also higher among low-income households. Chronic diseases are the leading cause of disability and death and are often preventable. These chronic diseases were more widespread among Nova Scotians with lower household incomes. It is clear, poverty is poison. The best and most enduring solution to poverty is a good-paying job. We can create those here. We can bring jobs and the opportunities that follow, because that is also what we owe you. We must do the work to attract businesses to our province because the government can only do so much without economic growth. At this time, it is impossible to talk about our economy without talking about the threat of U.S.-imposed tariffs on Canadian exports. February's scare served as a wake-up call for many. Our nation wasn't approving projects or pipelines. We accepted internal barriers to trade that held our people and our economy back. We allowed ourselves to become over-reliant on the United States because we believed the friendship and hospitality we showed to them would be returned. Things are already changing. Earlier this month, the government sent representatives to Europe to find new markets for seafood. The Premier joined a delegation to the United States. The government is ramping up its buy local efforts and setting up new ways for businesses to share information with the government. But there is more to do. In our province, we actively impose barriers to development and investment. We've allowed sectors of our economy to become captured by special interests. Opposing investment and job creation cannot be our default. Giving groups vetoes that impoverish our fellow Nova Scotians will no longer be tolerated. If we want to be ready to face tariffs or any future economic threat, we need to build an economy that is independent, resilient, and resource-focused. We are active participants in the global economy. Being part of this large, integrated, and interdependent economic system means many things are outside of our control. But it doesn't mean that we sit back and accept whatever comes our way. We must focus on those things we can control. Those things like approving more projects, building more pipelines, building more homes, and finding ways to do so in an environmentally safe and responsible manner. That is what we must do. There are countless opportunities for resource development in our province, but they will be met with resistance. We must band together and push back against these voices who look only to oppose. In doing so, we can ensure that Nova Scotia is a generational economic success story. That is what we must do, because that is what we owe each other. To our fishers, farmers, foresters, you are part of our future. The government will help your industries evolve. We are already seeing this. In just the last month, the government announced more support for our traditional yet innovative sectors. There was more support to help the beef industry upgrade their facilities. Nova Scotia forestry products now carry the Nova Scotia Loyal brand. Blueberry and apple farmers will receive assistance to purchase new equipment. New tech for agriculture was funded, which will lead to new products and new businesses. And we aren't finished. We are here to be an ally for fishers, farmers, and foresters. There are also emerging sectors that can position our province for growth. Growth that will bring with it prosperity for the families in this province, like hydrogen. This industry can provide greenhouse gas-free energy and add $5 billion to our economy. We are blessed with incredible onshore and offshore wind speeds. We must use this to our advantage. This sector is projected to be worth $4.6 billion within 7 years. And we must harvest and develop our deposits of critical minerals: antimony, cobalt, copper, graphite, lithium, and others. We have an abundance of critical minerals that the world needs. These minerals are the building block of the Green Revolution. As King Charles has said, we need to act now to ensure that future generations inherit a world that is not only habitable, but one where nature thrives alongside human enterprise. These minerals are how we can combat the global threat of climate change while ensuring that nature thrives alongside human enterprise. And when we develop these resources here, we can use them here. We can also send them around the world. We can green our province while becoming a reliable and stable trading partner that can produce clean tech for countries throughout the world. Global demand for lithium is expected to grow 43 times over 2020 levels. It's essential for the rechargeable batteries used in everything from laptops to electric vehicles. If we are going to use clean tech, we must mine the minerals needed for clean tech. We cannot demand electric vehicles while refusing to mine lithium. We cannot use wind energy unless we are also willing to develop the rare earth elements needed for windmills. We can't use energy-efficient technology while refusing to develop our indium resources. Critical minerals are called that because we cannot combat climate change without them. As we develop these resources, we will help in the global fight against climate change and create jobs that will lift Nova Scotian families out of poverty. On average, jobs in the mining sector pay over $100,000 a year. The economic potential of hydrogen, wind, and critical minerals is massive. Combined, they can add $16 billion to our economy and jobs throughout the province. The government will bring in and develop modern regulations that enable development while ensuring we protect the environment. If people tell you it can't be done, they are trying to scare you. The government will create an environment that is attractive to investment because that will bring jobs and prosperity here. That is what the government owes you. But this requires all of us to come together. All of us have responsibility for the success of these industries. No amount of policy or regulation can overcome a mindset that has captured many people. A mindset pushed by special interests. Capitalizing on the opportunity presented by those burgeoning industries will require taking the no out of Nova Scotia. Government will lead this effort, but it needs Nova Scotians to join us. Leading by example means we will stop legislating outright bans on entire sectors. And the government will reverse bans to allow for meaningful discussion, discussions that will ask, how do we do this safely? These industries will bring growth, and this growth will bring revenue to the province, which will produce returns for Nova Scotians. We want to keep investing in healthcare, keep investing in affordable housing, and we want to keep cutting taxes and fees. But these things are only possible with more economic growth. This year, the government will reduce the HST, increase the basic personal exemption, and put an end to bracket creep. And bridge tolls will soon be a thing of the past. Small business taxes will drop and the small business threshold will rise. This will help free up capital for our entrepreneurs to invest and hire more. Reducing your tax burden means more money in your pocket and gives you more control over your finances. If we look at the 10 provinces of Canada and the 50 states of the United States, we see a worrying statistic. Nova Scotia has the lowest GDP per capita. We are 60th out of 60. This hurts our economy, our finances, and our health. Economic inaction is costing many Nova Scotians a decade of their life. This is unacceptable. We owe each other better than that. When we look back and see where we fell short, we can see that self-imposed limits stifled growth and stifled opportunity. Poverty of imagination perpetuates the cycle of poverty in our communities. And perpetuating poverty means shorter lives for our fellow Nova Scotians. At this moment, we must stand tall and answer this call to action. Former Premier Robert L. Stanfield once asked, why do we try to polarize a society that is already taut with tension and confrontation? I doubt that the former Premier could imagine the world we are in today, but his question is as pressing as ever. We must not let special interests polarize our province at the expense of our fellow Nova Scotians. We must stand up for the interests of our fellow Nova Scotians. Nous ne devons pas laisser les intérêts spéciaux diviser notre province et nuire aux gens de la Nouvelle-Écosse. Nous devons défendre les intérêts des gens de la Nouvelle-Écosse. If we fail, we will deprive fellow Nova Scotians of life-changing opportunities. We must stand united and embrace a growth-oriented mindset. This is what we owe one another. Only by taking the no out of Nova Scotia can we unlock our province's potential. God bless Nova Scotia. God bless Canada. God save the King.
Her Honor, the Speaker.
Please be seated. The Honorable Attorney General begs leave to introduce a bill entitled An Act Representing Oaths and Office.
Speaker, I beg leave to introduce a bill entitled An Act Respecting Oaths of Office.
An act respecting oaths of office.
Ordered that the bill be read a second time on a future day. His Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, has been pleased to make a speech to the members met in General Assembly, of which speech, for greater accuracy, I have obtained a copy which the Chief Clerk will now read.
Our province faces a world filled with uncertainty. It is not the first time our province faced challenging times. In each instance, our province persevered because Nova Scotians refused to give up. And whenever necessary, we supported our Canadian brothers and sisters. We rallied behind our flag.
I recognize the Honorable Premier.
Speaker, I move that the speech be taken as read.
The motion is that the speech be taken as read. Would all those in favor of the motion please say aye? Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. I recognize the Honourable Member for Clare.
Madam Speaker, it's an honour to rise today to move the address in reply to the speech from the throne as read by His Honour the Honourable Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. First, I would like to congratulate His Honour, the Honourable Mike Savage, on his appointment to his new role as Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. I would also like to say thank you for your years in public service on both the federal and municipal levels. I know I already mentioned it previously, but it's truly an honour and privilege to move the address in reply to the speech from the throne. I would like to take this opportunity to tell the other members of this Honourable House about my hometown of Clare. Madam Speaker, we're going way back now, when I was an early teenager. I took it upon myself to learn more about our political system, learning about the parties, the levels and branches of government, etc. I knew that I wanted to be a member of the Nova Scotia House of Assembly since I was 13 years old. It was my dream to represent the riding of Clare. But unfortunately, we lost our riding in the 2013 election when it became Clare-Digby. In the 2021 election, we got our old riding of Clare back, and it reignited my spark. With the highest voter turnout percentage in the province, I'm very happy to return this riding to the Progressive Conservative Party after over 30 years of Liberal representation. I would like to acknowledge and thank the electors in Clare that made my dreams come true. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for your support and trust in me. Your belief in my vision and dedication to our shared goals has been inspiring. I'm committed to serving with integrity and a deep sense of responsibility. Together we can build a brighter future where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. Your concerns, hopes, and dreams are what drive me every day, and I promise to continue working tirelessly on your behalf. Thank you for the opportunity to represent you. Let's move forward with strength, unity, and determination. Je vous remercie de m'avoir donné l'occasion de vous représenter. Allons de l'avant avec force, unité et détermination. In addition, I would like to thank my parents, Wayne and Dina Robichaud of Saint-Martin-Clair. Throughout the years, they encouraged me in pursuing my dreams. Whether it was in my career, political activities, or personal events, they were always there pushing me to do my best. My father is a retired lobster fisherman from St. Mary's Bay. I inherited my work ethic and kindness from him. My mother is a caregiver who has an in-home daycare. I got my honesty and tenacity, that can also be known as stubbornness in some circumstances, from her. And don't worry, she'll agree with that statement. A very special thanks goes out to my partner, Janice Burridge. For some reason, not everyone wants to date a politician. However, she never doubted me and she inspired me every day. She endured my occasional crankiness after a long day on the campaign trail. I told her that she needs to understand that if I'm elected, I'll be talking to everyone everywhere we go. To which she responded, "You already do that." So there's not much of a change. These next 4+ years will be exciting and will go by quickly, I'm sure. I've been told by many members. But I appreciate my family for being there and understanding the commitment required for this position. They say that teamwork makes the dream work, and that's very true in going through an electoral campaign. To ask volunteers to contribute their time and energy to help you get elected and share your vision and dreams is a huge ask. However, my team did it without hesitation. A big thank you to my campaign managers, Hubert and Diane Leblanc. We started this adventure out as nearly strangers, but ended up great friends. Thank you to the following team members: Marc Boudreau, Karen Cayenne, Kim Self, and my sister, Cynthia Robichaud. Thank you. I'm also grateful to our local EDA, our members, and all the volunteers that helped in the campaign office, putting up signs, drove me around, and everything they've done. I honestly couldn't have asked for a better team. There were some political figures that I looked up to that I could also call friends and mentors. Thank you to the late Senator Jorel Comeau, and to 2 former PC MLAs and cabinet ministers, Guy Leblanc and the late Gordon Balser. I'm very happy I get to share this experience with Gordon's daughter, who happens to be the Minister of Cybersecurity and Digital Solutions. And I know that Guy was very pleased with the election results, since he was our last PC MLA in Clare. That was in 1993. Also the year I was born. I thank them for their advice, support, and mentorship. I also greatly appreciated the help and guidance I received from certain colleagues that are present here today. They knew of my interest in becoming an MLA before I even put my name forward. This includes the Minister of Cybersecurity and Digital Solutions, the Minister of Acadian Affairs and Francophonie, and the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. When I expressed my interest in running for office, they didn't say, "Run away from it, don't do it." They offered guidance, encouragement, and most of all, kindness. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be sitting in this room alongside you all. This is also a great opportunity for me to congratulate everyone sitting in this honorable house. It takes great courage, effort, and commitment to put your name on the ballot, no matter what party. Congratulations to all who were elected in this last election and taking your seats here today. Speaker, I'm certain that everyone in this room will agree with me with what I'm about to say. As an MLA, we can't be everywhere at once. That's why we can count on our constituency assistants to help residents from our area and help us succeed. That's why I want to thank my CA, Darylyn Comeau, for all her hard work in keeping the office running while I'm in Halifax, away, or out in Clare seeing constituents. During my time as an MLA, I look forward to working with the colleagues in this House, our local federal Member of Parliament, Chris D'Entremont, and our Municipal Council. Congratulations to the newly elected and re-elected councillors in the municipality of the District of Clare, Warden Yvon Leblanc, Deputy Warden Eric Potier, and councillors Rayan Evans, Danny Hill, Ryan Cooper, Carl DeVoe, Brian Comeau, and Nadine Comeau. I look forward to working with you all. Madame Présidente, Clare est une communauté acadienne très fière située sur la côte française près de la belle baie Sainte-Marie. Pour vous donner une idée de qui nous sommes forts mais accueillants. Nous sommes innovants tout en préservant nos traditions. Nous sommes uniques mais unis. Nous regardons vers notre avenir mais n'oublions jamais notre passé. To translate, Madam Speaker, Clare is a very proud Acadian community, located on the French shore by the beautiful St. Mary's Bay. And to give you an idea of who we are strong, but we are kind. We are innovative, yet keep our traditions. We are unique, yet united. We look forward to our future, but never forget our past. A big part of our culture and economic prosperity in our region is the fisheries industry. We hope to protect this industry and keep it sustainable for future generations. Forestry is also a large and growing industry in Clare. We're seeing an increase in businesses and interest associated with forestry and look forward to exploring this further. If you're thinking of coming to our beautiful region, let me assure you that you will not be disappointed. We have one of the best beaches in the province with Mavilet Beach. Even when there's fog, which is most of the time. We have a provincial park, Smuggler's Cove, that's rich with history and adventurous stories. Visitors can enjoy traditional Roppy pie or fricot. Or local and fresh seafood, including the Premier's favorite seafood lasagna. In the last year, we were fortunate to be one of the hosts for Le Congrès Mondial Acadien, Acadian World Congress. This momentous event and experience brought visitors from around the world to learn and celebrate with Acadians, reuniting families from around the globe, promoting our heritage and unique culture. On a similar note, I have to share my excitement for this summer. The Festival Acadien at Clare, Clare's Acadian Festival, which happens to be the oldest Acadian festival in the world, will be celebrating its 70th anniversary this year. I hope to see some faces from this house at our Tintamarre on August 15th. The Tintamarre is the iconic noise parade, where you show off the colors of the Acadian flag and make as much noise as possible to show we're still here and we're thriving. Madam Speaker, I'd also like to share about the newest infrastructure changes in Clare that are definitely worth mentioning. We have the new senior long-term care facility, Villa Acadienne, that is now operational with their residents moved in. We're also looking forward to the expansion of the Clare Medical Centre. This expansion will accommodate the growing number of the healthcare team. This incredible development will allow the Clare Medical Centre to attach a family physician to anyone that's on the current wait list in Clare, Weymouth, and even Digby. Congratulations to the Municipality of Clare, Dr. Michel Dow, and the team at the Healthcare Centre on their ongoing success. Another new building that's currently in progress is the new elementary school in Sonyville, École Bay Sainte-Marie. I know that parents and students are excited to see the new school open its doors. Also a quick mention, St. Anne's University, Université Saint-Anne, is the only French language post-secondary institution in Nova Scotia and is located in Church Point. It's an institution that continues to prove that they are a leader and a great example of what a green campus can look like. I had the opportunity to work on St. Anne's campus in my previous role as Economic Development Officer with CBDC Digby Clare. We were located in the Louis E. DeVoe Entrepreneurship Building alongside Conseil de Développement Économique de la Nouvelle-Écosse, Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, Nova Scotia Works, the Western Wren, and some university faculty. During my time in this role, I was able to help many businesses in Digby County that were starting, growing, or planning for succession. It gave me an insight to the needs and gaps in our industries and sectors, and all these experiences helped me to get where I am today. Speaker, I'm extremely thankful for the additional privilege of becoming Ministerial Assistant to the Minister of Finance and Treasury Board. This position will continue to enhance my skills I acquired in my financial services and economic development careers. Thank you to the Minister of Finance and Treasury Board for being a great leader in his department, and I certainly have a lot to learn from you and the staff over at the department. In closing, I appreciate the time provided to tell you about myself and the wonderful community of Clare, Nova Scotia. Vive l'Acadie. I move that the following address be presented to the Lieutenant Governor in reply to the speech which His Honour has delivered to this session of the Legislature, and I move that this address do pass. To His Honour, the Honourable Mike Savage, Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Nova Scotia, may it please Your Honour that we, His Majesty's dutiful and loyal subjects, the House of Assembly of the Province of Nova Scotia, in session assembled, beg leave to thank Your Honour for the most gracious speech which opens this, the first session of the 65th General Assembly of the Province of Nova Scotia. We assure Your Honour of our loyal support and affection. May God bless you and keep you well. Merci.
I recognize the honourable member of Hants West.
Madam Speaker, it is indeed my privilege to rise today to support the speech from the throne and a motion brought forward by my colleague, the member for Clare, and to congratulate him on being newly elected member to represent the area. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate you, Madam Speaker, on your position as the newly re-elected Speaker in this, the oldest assembly in the country. Putting your name on a ballot takes a lot of courage and immense amount of strength. So I would like to recognize all candidates and congratulate everyone who was successful and claimed the incredible honor of taking their seat in the Nova Scotia Legislature. I am honored and proud to be standing here as the second member of the Sheehy family to serve in this legislature. My great-uncle, Dr. Jerry Sheehy, was the member for Annapolis East from 1970 to 1988. And served as the Minister of Health for 7 of those years. I would also be remiss if I did not acknowledge our government's remarkable feat of securing the largest victory in the province's history. Since the Honourable John Buchanan led his party victory to in 1978, winning 31 of the 52 legislature seats. Madam Speaker, Premier, and fellow MLAs, I thank His Honour, Lieutenant Governor Mike Savage, for a speech from the throne. On behalf of the citizens of Hants West, I'm honoured to have the privilege of seconding the address and reply to the speech from the throne. A speech which lays out an ambitious and energetic plan for the second consecutive term of a progressive Conservative government. Under the vital leadership of our Premier, the member for Pictou East, our government is laying out a plan for a healthy and prosperous Nova Scotia while building a stronger economy and future for the people of our province. Our government will be innovative, bold, and brave as our plan to face the challenges and celebrate successes as Nova Scotians together. As all members here know, to be successful in earning a seat in the legislature, you need to be dedicated and hardworking. You also need to have the support of your community, your family and your friends, and a hardworking campaign team. I first want to acknowledge my family. My incredible husband of 27 years, Todd, for his dedication and support in my re-election. None of this would be possible without his unwavering love and support. his ability to always be the calm in our relationship when the waters get rough, and for his words of encouragement that drove me to work harder than I ever imagined possible on days when I felt like giving up. He has been supportive from day one, and we share in this journey together. For that, I am thankful and will be forever grateful. My three boys, who are my pride and joy. Luke recently celebrated his 26th birthday and is a power engineer with Nova Scotia Health. McGuire, who is 23, graduated as a software engineer and a Sexton Scholar from Dalhousie University. Last October, and has recently accepted a job in IT with the Royal Bank of Canada. Brody, who shares a birthday with me, his mom, is 20 and apprenticing to be an electrician. He is so fortunate to be able to work locally on a job site in Windsor. Helping raise them has been my greatest joy, and I am proud of the young men they have become. Sharing their mom with the whole community can sometimes be challenging, but knowing I have their love and support and that they always, always have mom's back means the world to me. My parents, Steve and Trudy, who are cheering me on and know just the right thing to say when I need it most. I love that they are able to share in my successes and watch me grow in ways I never imagined possible. Madam Speaker, I also want to send my sincere gratitude to my entire campaign team and group of volunteers. More specifically, Ashley Emley, a true miracle worker, and I could not have done it without her. No matter what was required of her, she was up for the task. And to my official agent, Mark Camo. Special thank yous as well to Joss Isis, who helped me knock on doors and was able to keep up with me. Steve Graves, who was willing to do anything that was required of him, fill in whenever was needed. Dan Boyd, who helped raise funds for my campaign team. Nancy Burgess for making hundreds of calls. Scott Ellis, who assisted on door knocking and social media. Gladys Sanford, my campaign officer, or campaign office manager. And finally, a special thank you to Clary Hazel, my husband, and my boys for running a stellar sign game. My EDA was our backbone, and thank you to Jenna Croft for keeping the constituency office open, and to everyone else who played a part in my re-election. I cannot say thank you enough. From the bottom of my heart, I am thankful for their dedication, for their patience with me, and for once again believing in me and making it happen for Hants West. Madam Speaker, we are a community filled with diversity, rich history, and immense beauty. We have shown time and again we can come together as a community to celebrate our triumphs and support each other through our tragic losses, emerging each time stronger and more united than ever. We have the highest tides in the world, roots rich in agriculture, boasting the home of the oldest agriculture fair in North America, and home to King's Edgell School, the oldest private school in the country. We are known for the birthplace of hockey, where Hurley originated on Long Pond in Windsor, and for being the pumpkin capital of the world. We have oceans and lakes to swim in, trails to hike, and ski Martok. We are so fortunate to be serviced by many large companies and several small and unique businesses. I welcome the contributions that each play to the success of Hants West. In the fall, we saw the re-election of Mayor Abraham Zabian and a new council that continue to lead us tirelessly as we welcome the challenges of growth in the newest regional municipality in the province. We will celebrate our 5-year anniversary as such this coming March. Our region, like many, is seeing unprecedented development, with many people wanting to call our wonderful place home. Our municipalities play a critical role in providing and administrating public services vital to the needs of housing, infrastructure, and recreation, along with many other services and functions. Our government remains committed to supporting all municipalities, and I look forward to the opportunities that lie ahead. Madam Speaker, the beginning of a second term leaves me feeling excited and refreshed to work for what matters for Nova Scotians. The Premier has outlined so many key initiatives for our province that will benefit us for generations to come. My new role as Ministerial Assistant to Minister of Environment and of Climate Change is a role that I'm excited to embrace and learn more and grow in more ways as I take that challenge on. Our government is transforming healthcare, changing the way people access care by passing legislation that allows healthcare professionals to work to the full scope of their practice. For the first time in decades, the system is seeing stability, where today less than 10% of our population are still seeking a family practitioner. We have already initiated many steps towards universal mental health. The launch of the Universal School Lunch Program, more opportunities in the Skilled Trade Program, and the indexation of tax brackets that took effect January 1st are aggressive steps towards making life more affordable for Nova Scotians. The proposed provincial tax reduction to the HST by 1% will be the largest tax break in the province's history, allowing Nova Scotians to keep more of their own hard-earned money in their own pockets. Nova Scotia is an incredible place to live, work, and play. Today's speech from the throne lays out a plan to build on our strengths and tackle our challenges head-on in a sustainable and meaningful way. It is an excellent mix of practicality, vision, and leadership, and we're ready to tackle the challenges that may lie ahead with a 43-member-strong Progressive Conservative government under the incredible leadership of our Premier. It is truly a privilege to be the MLA for my constituency, and I am honored to second the motion that the address in reply to the speech from the throne do pass. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm honoured to rise and reply to the speech from the throne. Congratulations to His Honour on becoming the Lieutenant Governor of this province and her honour, and congrats to the Premier and the PC caucus on your successful re-election campaign. To all of the new members, welcome to the People's House. Welcome to the seats that represent 55 communities across our province. Seats that you will have the honor to occupy on behalf of our constituents. Your role and our role is to represent them here. In this moment of political uncertainty, of polarization, and of genuine economic instability, we must work together. We must be united, not divided. We must listen and not just wait to speak in this room. That's a challenge. And in that spirit, as His Majesty's official opposition, we will do our best today and every day to bring the concerns, the hopes, and the dreams of Nova Scotians into this chamber, to highlight the issues, the ideas, the policies that require our debate and discussion, our consultation, and our conversation. In our system of government, to oppose is to show loyalty. Loyalty to Nova Scotians and loyalty to this Assembly. In our system, this makes a better government, a more effective government, and most of all, a more responsible government. We are all here to address the challenges before us on behalf of and in service to all Nova Scotians. Fishers and foresters, environmentalists and entrepreneurs, seniors and those just starting out. All Nova Scotians deserve to see themselves in the words and actions of their government. This session is an opportunity for us to all work together on legislation that will make a difference for those Nova Scotians. And now, more than ever, it is imperative that we do that work together. Collaboration, cooperation, and a shared commitment to progress must guide our decisions. It is through unity, not division, that we will tackle the challenges ahead and forge a brighter future. Right now, we stand at a crossroads in the history of our province. Nova Scotians, as was mentioned in the speech, continue to face rising costs, a housing shortage, and a healthcare system stretched beyond its limits. These are not simply issues of policy. They are matters of dignity, of fairness, and of the basic right to live a decent life. Nova Scotia is rich in culture, in heritage, and most of all, in opportunity. This should not be a place where families need to decide between heating their homes and putting food on the table. But unfortunately, for too many Nova Scotians, it is. These issues are exacerbated, as we heard, by the serious threats to our economy from across the border. Recent developments remind us all that our economy, while resilient, is not immune to these external pressures. Trade policies, tariffs, geopolitical shifts, these can shake the foundations of our traditional industries. The ripple effect will be felt across all sectors: manufacturing, fisheries, agriculture, forestry, and the vital small businesses that form the backbone of our communities. And the question that we are all asking ourselves is, how will we respond? We know that our economy is the engine that sustains our communities, and the livelihood of the workers who run that engine and bring life to those communities is in peril. We need forward-thinking solutions to address the many unknowns we will face in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. We need leadership that doesn't shy away from tough questions, tough conversations, and tough decisions. We need policies that are proactive rather than reactive, that anticipate challenges rather than responding to crises as they emerge. And as we carry out our work in the legislature in this very small room, we must remember that every policy decision that we make affects real people, families trying to build a future, young people striving for opportunity, and seniors hoping to age with dignity. With a new president to the south and the possibility of a federal election on the horizon, we will need to have a lot of important discussions, and to follow those discussions with clear, united action that puts Nova Scotians first. Change is inevitable, but how we respond to that change must be guided by the principles of fairness, sustainability, and respect for all Nova Scotians. We cannot be complacent. We don't know what will happen next month, or the month after that, or the month after that, or even tomorrow. We need to be ready at a moment's notice for the situation to change drastically, as it is every day. And we must expect the unexpected. Our resilience will be tested, but so will our ingenuity, our creativity, and our ability to adapt in the face of adversity. With the threat of tariffs, it's more important than ever that we secure the future of our economy. This means not only protecting jobs, but fostering an environment where new and innovative industries can take root and grow. We have the talent, the resources, and the spirit to diversify our economy and strengthen it against external shocks. It's essential that we support the workers who keep our industries strong and who provide the essential goods and services to their fellow Nova Scotians. And that means not only fair wages and safe working conditions, but the dignity and respect that all workers deserve. From the fishers in our coastal communities, to the farmers in our fields, to the loggers in our forests, to healthcare workers in our hospitals and clinic, to the tech innovators in our cities, every worker deserves recognition and support. And we have to create good local jobs to sustain our vibrant communities and our amazing people. And to do this, we need to bring the most important players together. Key stakeholders from affected industries and sectors currently under threat, labor unions, Indigenous organizations. These are the folks who will be the most affected by potential tariffs, and they must have a seat at the table. Collaborative leadership now is not just beneficial, it is necessary for us to stand firm against those who threaten the livelihoods of Nova Scotians. What I've outlined are some steps that we as MLAs can take, but all Nova Scotians have a role in strengthening our economy. It has never been more important to buy local. Here in Nova Scotia, we are truly spoiled by the incredible producers, dynamic businesses, skilled artisans, and dedicated entrepreneurs who bring our communities to life. They don't just sell goods and services, they tell our stories, they preserve our traditions, and they fuel our economy. Every dollar spent locally supports our friends, our families, and our neighbors. By choosing local, we are investing in our shared future and celebrating the bounty, craftsmanship, and culture that makes Nova Scotia such a wonderful place to live. Despite the internal and external challenges we face, we cannot lose sight of our most important job here in the legislature, making sure that Nova Scotians can find good jobs, access the health care they need, live in a home that they can actually afford, and be able to pay for the basics. These are the building blocks of a fair, just, stable, and prosperous society. We're lucky to live in a province so rich with potential, and yet for many Nova Scotians, their hard work is not enough. The cost of living is rising, wages are not keeping pace, and local businesses are struggling under the weight of inflation and economic uncertainty. Nova Scotians reach out to us every day. Working families struggling to make ends meet as costs continue to rise, young people unable to find a place to call home, seniors waiting too long for the health care they need and deserve. These stories are not just heart-wrenching and sporadic, they are common. And we must address the root cause of these challenges, not just the symptoms. The issues facing Nova Scotians were not created in a vacuum. They are the result of inaction and of failure to prioritize the well-being of our citizens. Nova Scotians deserve better opportunities and better outcomes. It's time for policies that put people first, that invest in public services, that support small businesses, and that prioritize sustainable growth over short-term and short-sighted profit. We're pleased to hear in this throne speech that the government intends to take economic development seriously in Nova Scotia. In fact, it's the first time we've heard about economic development in 4 years, including on the campaign trail. We are deeply worried about this government's desire to overturn long-held bans on fracking and uranium mining, against the advice of Nova Scotians and the industries that the government purports to represent, science and consultation. In the throne speech, it says that government will reverse bans to allow for meaningful discussion. I don't think I need to table it as it was just tabled. I would submit that that's the wrong way around. Meaningful discussion is welcome and important. We do that before we reverse the will of the people and scientific study. The government also refers in this throne speech to a veto held by special interests. I think that some of the special interests whom this government is seeking to demonize so early in their term would be thrilled to know that they have a veto on this majority government's attempt to do whatever it is that they want to do. I assure you that that is not the case. The only body with a veto over policy in this province is this government. And we certainly hope that they use it wisely, thoughtfully, with regard to science, with consultation, with meaningful consultation with the Mi'kmaq, and in a way that benefits all Nova Scotians. Those bans were put in place for a reason: to protect our environment, our drinking water, our forests, our fisheries, our health, and our province. We're ready for meaningful conversation. We have yet to have ever had it with this government. The Premier has presented no specifics about how lifting the bans would benefit Nova Scotians now. We don't know which projects would go forward, where they would be, or how Indigenous communities, municipalities, and industry would be consulted. We don't know who would benefit. With weak royalty regimes and signals of reduced environmental assessments, there are questions that must be asked and answered before we move forward. And lest I be painted as a special interest, I wonder if there is anyone else in this chamber who has worked professionally in the field of mining economics. I have. My grandfather was a copper trader. My father owned a mining consultancy. I am very aware with the economics of mining and drilling deposits. We haven't seen those economics make sense yet. It's not to say they won't, but pounding the drums and making enemies does not make mining more attractive. Reducing environmental regulations and companies seeing a windfall in a weak royalty regime like Nova Scotia might. And so my request and my warning is that as we go forward down this path, we look at the evidence. We make sure that this is something that is beneficial to Nova Scotians and that is beneficial to Nova Scotia and to our economy, and that this government has the bravery and the thoughtfulness and the leadership to actually engage with the people who understand this issue and are trying to have the conversation. Painting them as special interests is the lazy way out. Safeguarding our environment is not a fringe issue. It is central to the collective well-being of all Nova Scotians and to the legacy we will leave for future generations. It is also an economic driver of community development, tourism, recreation, and responsible natural resource development. This is a time to look to the future, not to return to the past. The future for our children, for our environment, for our province, and for our economic stability. We must continue to invest in the industries of today and the industries of tomorrow. Science, ocean technology, clean energy, construction, tourism, e-commerce, and the list goes on. We must create economic environment where local businesses can thrive and where workers receive fair wages for their labor. Nova Scotians deserve a government that will act decisively to ensure that prosperity is shared by all, not just by a few. We are living in challenging times. Let us come together as people who may be on different sides of a political aisle, but are bound by shared values, common goals, and a love for the people of our province. Together, we can create a Nova Scotia where everyone has a fair shot at success, where communities are strengthened, and where our future is secure for generations to come. Thank you, Madam Speaker. With those few words, I move to adjourn, address and reply.
There is a motion to adjourn debate, motion to adjourn debate. Would all those in favor of the motion please say aye? Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Speaker. At the conclusion of the session today, on your behalf, I'd like to invite all members and all guests to a reception in the Red Chamber just across there. So we hope we see everyone over there. And of course, I want to take the opportunity to wish Carol a happy Valentine's Day and see you later.
I recognize the Honourable Government House Leader.
You just put me on the spot, so happy Valentine's Day, Rena. Madam Speaker, that concludes government business for the day. I move that the House do now rise and meet again on Tuesday, February 18th, between the hours of 1 and 6 p.m.
The motion is that the House do rise to meet Tuesday, February 18th at 1 p.m. Would all those in favor of the motion please say aye? Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. Before declaring the House adjourned, I wish to inform that the Minister of Finance and Treasury Board deposited the following government notice of a motion with the Chief Clerk before today's sitting pursuant to Rule 32.3. Speaker, I hereby give notice that on a future day I shall read and table the message from His Honour the Lieutenant Governor, transmitting the estimates of sums required for the service of the province for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2026 for the consideration of the House. Table the estimate books, table the government business plan, table the estimate resolutions, deliver my budget speech, and move that the estimates of sums required for the service of the province for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2026 by supply to be granted to His Majesty be referred to the Committee of the Whole, House of Supply. Speaker, for the information of the House, the budget will be presented on February 18th, 2025. The House now stands adjourned.